Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Captain's Cabin and the Captain's Log. Tonight, I've been thinking lately, I'd like to lighten things up a bit, but not tonight. Tonight is pretty standard Captain's Log. We'll see where we can go with some of these things, but I want to start with asking you a poignant question and making a couple of poignant statements that will hopefully cause you to think about what we're going to be talking about tonight. And there are moments in our lives when nothing is, and yet something's clearly shifted. Shifted for me, maybe shifted for you in the things that you're involved with. And when the storm hasn't passed, the destination hasn't changed, but you realize quietly that you're still standing at the wheel of the ship. And so tonight's Captain's Log is for those moments, for the pause between the answers, for the long breath taken when you realize you don't really have to run anymore. So tonight's log is the change, waiting for the change in the stars. More accurately, I would say less than the change in the stars, it's waiting for the stars. When you're out at sea or wherever you are, if you're in a deep fog and you're surrounded by that, you can't see the stars. So you're waiting on the stars, and there's this strange kind of strength that shows up when you stop demanding clarity. That's where I've been many times over the last year, demanding clarity. Why is this happening? Why is that happening? What would happen if? How can there be clarity? How do I understand? And so on. Sometimes desperate, sometimes intellectual. But this clarity we're demanding, it's not because we've given up, but because we've learned that some answers can't be forced without breaking something fragile. And I've been sitting with that tonight, all day today. Lots of things have happened today, lots of realizations, learning of the death of friends, things like that. That wasn't the catalyst, but there are many other things. So I've been sitting with weight tonight. Have you done that? Have you had days, weeks, months where you sit with the weight of something? And there are truths that don't arrive. They don't arrive with fireworks. They don't arrive with finality. They arrive softly, almost inconveniently. And they don't tell you what to do. They simply ask you to stay. Don't move. Sit still. And we live in a world that rewards all these decisive kinds of conclusions about things. Fix it, leave it, win it, end it. But real life, deep life, rarely cooperates with our timelines. I had all kinds of timelines for my life. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is hold the line without knowing how the story ends. Not clenched, not rigid, but upright. Shoulders back, chest out, chin down. I've learned recently that endurance isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need witnesses. Endurance is quiet fidelity to who you are when no one is asking you to perform. It's choosing not to chase reassurance, not to argue your worth, not to contort yourself into something more acceptable, just standing there, breathing, trusting that being present is not the same as being passive. Catch that? Being present is not the same thing as being passive. Some of you listening tonight are in that same place. You're waiting. You're suspended. You're carrying questions that don't yet have names. And if that's you, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not failing because you don't have the answers. You're not weak because you feel the weight of uncertainty. And you're not lost just because the horizon out there is obscured. There's dignity in staying upright when everything in you wants relief at any cost. So tonight, I'm choosing steadiness over certainty, integrity over urgency, presence over panic. How about you? Are you choosing those things? Do you have situations in your life? Lives, I was going to say, life. Make it singular. Life, plural lives. That you don't do that with? That you don't choose the integrity over the urgency? The presence over the panic? Steadiness over certainty? And sometimes in our desire to know, we rush headlong and make things worse. So sometimes you got to wait for the stars to come out so you can see again and navigate your course. And many times that means just standing still, being present. And presence is not passivity. And so for now, that's enough on that point. And so the word's been given on that. Let's go into some affirmations. I do not need immediate clarity to remain whole. Sometimes the lack of clarity leaves us feeling like we're empty, like I'm not a whole person right now because I can't figure it out. You don't need immediate clarity to remain whole. The affirmation, I do not need immediate clarity to remain whole. I can endure uncertainty without abandoning myself. God, I just want to repeat every one of these. I can endure uncertainty without abandoning myself. Stillness is not stagnation. It's strength gathering. And I honor my boundaries, my values, and my heart. Say this with me. I honor my boundaries, my values, and my heart. And I trust that what is meant to remain will not require my collapse. Here's a benediction for us. May you rest tonight without solving everything. For me, I like to know where I'm going. I don't like the questions. I don't like uncertainty that's wrangling and manhandling my life. I want to know things. But may you rest tonight. May we all rest tonight without solving everything. May your shoulders lower and your breath deepen. And may you remember that holding the line is not weakness. It's wisdom. And may tomorrow meet you with answers, not with answers, May tomorrow meet you not with answers, but with the quiet assurance that you're still exactly where you need to be. And I want you to, as always, stay the course. Okay. I think that was enough of a pause that I'll know where to edit that so I can do the clips for this show. And we're going to move into the captain's cabin now. If you're over there on Instagram or on Facebook, come on over to the YouTube channel. If you're in Facebook, click on the link for this show. Get over into the YouTube channel. If you talk with us in the chat room and you're in Instagram, well, you won't be able to see it from Instagram in a minute. But if you go to Facebook, you won't be able to be seen in the chat room in YouTube where everybody gathers that's chatting actively. And they won't be able to see you. I can, because I'm right here. And I see everybody. So get over to the YouTube channel and join the live chat room. And for Instagram, right now, Instagram, ta-ta for now. We're getting out of here. Thanks for listening. All right. Our Instagram friends are gone. And now it's just us. So, hey, Carly Sagan. Nice to see you. Pardon that. I suppose I don't have to say that every night now. But, one thing I want to say. This is not Palestinian. Just so you know, I don't care where your politics are. This shmag I'm wearing, shema, is, it might look Palestinian, but they all kind of look the same. This is Israeli. So just in case you're wondering, the pattern's a little different. The colors are different. This is Israeli. So I had to say that, get that out of the way. So let me remove that. Yes, remove it. There we go. Removing it. Pops up 10 windows just to let me get rid of Instagram. So Carly, nice to see you. Roger, nice to see you. And Barbie D, wonderful seeing you as always. Pamela Zaspel Torreson, greetings unto you. Aye, aye, she says. Arr, Pamela. This is where, when we were at the festival, arr, prepare to be barded. So, no, I feel a little more piratey with this. This is more than a do-rag. It's a shema, which is, this thing is about that long, and you wrap it all around, and you can do hood, you tuck it all in. It's long and big. I just put it on tonight for something a little different. And so good to see you, Pamela. And who else we got in here? We got some repeats going up. Steph Cuervo Queen. Yes, I saw you right away, Steph, tonight. You came in right away, and I was already talking, so I didn't pause to say hello. Yeah, Steph says, ugh, you'll never get the clarity because you can't control it. That's it. And the only way to control not having clarity, Steph, what is it? The only way to control not having clarity is to get resolve within yourself and say, this is how I have to be. I say, who was talking to me about having clarity, about rising above. And I said, how do you do that when it's all right inside you? I said, is it an affectation? This thing of looking like we're making it, looking like we're... But it's not W-H-O-L-E, it's O-H-O-L-E. There's a huge hole in your chest. Operate in truth and honesty and wisdom when that hole is always there. And I said, do you have to fake it? Is it a fake it till you make it? Is it a affectation, like I said? Is it false? Is it performance? And sometimes, maybe a bit of it. It's a bit of educated performance. You say, look, this is where my heart is. This is where my life is. It feels catastrophic and chaotic on the inside. But the more you do the outside, you say, that's inside. Not bury it, but don't let that be the thing that governs who you are. And so I have to consciously click over. You too, Steph, and everybody. So who else we got? Anybody else in here that I missed? Let's see. Going all the way down to the bottom. We've got a bunch of people watching, but only a few of you in the room. That's fine. Guys, if you're in the chat room, by the way, you can call into this show, which is the purpose of the Captain's Cabin, the after show. So you can call in and join and talk. You can call in with your camera, or you can call in with the camera off and your sound on if you don't want to show your face. That's fine. There's the link. I just posted it in the chat room. Yours might be over here. Mine's down there. That's why I'm pointing there. Pamela sent me a little story tonight. It's a little lengthy, but I want to read it to you because in a way it kind of fit right into what we were talking about tonight. And so here's a little story for you. And if you call in while I'm reading, I won't bring you in until this is done, but you can go sit and wait for me to call you in. This is about a woman during the Civil War. A 44-year-old widow stood in a church in Galesburg, Illinois, listening to a letter that would change her life. June 1861, Reverend Edward Beecher read aloud from Dr. Benjamin Woodward, a local physician now stationed at Cairo, Illinois. Young men were dying in filthy tents. Disease was spreading faster than bullets. The conditions were killing soldiers before they ever saw a battle. The congregation collected $500 in supplies. In 1861, that was a lot of money. They needed someone brave enough to deliver the supplies to a war zone, but nobody volunteered. All eyes turned to Mary Ann Bickerdike, Bickerdyke, Bickerdike. She was a widow who'd lost her husband, Robert, 2 years earlier, a mother raising 2 sons alone, a woman who practiced botanic medicine, treating people with herbs and home remedies to keep food on the table. She had every reason to say no. Her boys needed her. The journey was dangerous. Cairo was a military camp filled with soldiers, doctors, and death. But Mary Ann said yes anyway. On June 9th of 1861, she stepped off the train in Cairo, carrying crates of bandages, food, and medicine. And what she found made her stomach turn. 3 hospital tents stood apart from the main camp. Inside, soldiers lay on straw covered with filthy blankets. The floor was mud mixed with human waste. Flies swarmed everywhere. The stench was unbearable. Dr. Woodward greeted her. He reminded her she had 1 day past to deliver the supplies. Mary Ann looked at the dying men around her, and she thought about her own sons back home. Then she made a decision that would define the next 4 years of her life. She stayed. Within hours, she was demanding barrels to cut in half for bathing tubs. She heated water, stripped filthy clothes off sick men, bathed them, dressed them in clean garments. She organized chaos into order. Officers told her to leave. She ignored them. Doctors questioned her authority. She kept working. The soldiers started calling her mother. By November 1861, Mary Ann was matron of the General Hospital at Cairo. She had no official rank, no military training, just pure determination and a refusal to watch young men die in filth. When Fort Donelson fell in February 1862, she rushed to the battlefront. Wounded soldiers had frozen to the ground in brutal cold. She made 5 trips aboard hospital steamers, transporting the broken bodies back to safety. That's when she noticed something wasteful. After each battle, field hospitals burned soiled clothing and blankets, threw them away like trash. Well, Mary Ann wouldn't accept that. She wrote requesting laundry equipment. When it didn't arrive, she scrounged locally, bartered, cajoled, demanded. She organized formerly enslaved workers who had escaped to Union lines. Together they boiled cloth, hung it on bushes to dry, packed it for the next battle. 3 days after the bloodbath at Shiloh, Mother Bickerdike appeared wearing a gray Confederate overcoat and slouch hat. She set up portable laundries, served hot soup, tea, and crackers to wounded men. A surgeon approached her, face red with anger. Under whose authority was she working? Mary Ann didn't blink. On the authority of the Lord God Almighty. Have you anything that outranks that? He walked away. Nobody had an answer for that one. General Ulysses S. Grant noticed her work. He gave her a pass for free transport anywhere in his command. When his army moved down the Mississippi, Mary Ann went with them. She became his chief of nursing. She served at Vicksburg, set up field hospitals at Chattanooga, where she was the only female attendant for 4 weeks, watched the Battle of Lookout Mountain from the ground as clouds obscured the fighting above. At Chattanooga, the cold was brutal. Her wounded soldiers would freeze in flimsy hospital tents. She asked a doctor to have soldiers cut more firewood. He refused. Too cold, too close to nightfall. So Mary Ann chopped down trees herself. She built fires, scavenged fence rails from an abandoned Confederate camp, kept her boys warm through the bitter night. In the morning, the commanding officer demanded her arrest for destroying property. Mary Ann argued that Northern families would have agreed with her decision. Mothers would understand. The charges were dropped. When officers complained to General William Tecumseh Sherman about the outspoken woman who consistently disregarded military procedure, Sherman threw up his hands. She outranks me, he said. I can't do a thing in the world. He called her one of his best generals. Other officers referred to her as the brigadier commanding hospitals. Sherman allowed Mary Ann to accompany his army through Georgia, but while Sherman ordered destruction of the Confederate resources, Mother Bickerdike built hospitals for Confederate soldiers. Wounded men were wounded men. It didn't matter which uniform they wore. When Sherman arrived at Savannah, he found his own troops in fine condition. Mary Ann used her supply ship instead to treat prisoners liberated from Andersonville prison camp. And by war's end, Mother Bickerdike had built 300 hospitals and aided wounded on 19 battlefields. We're talking battlefield hospitals, not brick and mortar. On May 23rd, 1865, Sherman's army marched into Washington for the Grand Review. Sherman requested that Mary Ann ride at the head of the 15th Corps. He offered her a seat on the reviewing stand. She refused. Instead, still wearing her worn gray calico dress and plain bonnet, she set up a first aid station for wounded veterans who insisted on marching. She handed water to the soldiers along the parade route. The pageantry wasn't for her. The work was after the war. After the war, Mary Ann continued serving her boys. She helped 50 veteran families move to Kansas as homesteaders. She became an attorney, helping Union veterans with legal problems and securing pensions, not just for veterans, but for more than 300 women who had served as nurses. When Kansas was devastated by a grasshopper plague in 1874, Mary Ann made 10 trips to the Midwest and East to solicit donations and supplies. The effort broke her health. In 1886, Congress granted her a special pension of $25 per month. Generals Grant, Sherman, and others testified on her behalf. On July 19, 1897, Kansas honored her with Mother Bickerdike Day. Crowds flocked to pay their respects. Mary Ann Bickerdike died peacefully on November 8th of 1901 after a minor stroke. She was 84 years old. I mean, she was 44 when she started in 1861. So in 1906, a statue was erected on the Galesburg Courthouse grounds. It depicted her kneeling beside a wounded soldier, holding a cup of water to his lips. Inscribed on the base are Sherman's 3 legendary words, "She outranks me." For those who remember when duty meant more than rank, and service required no permission, Mary Ann's story offers something powerful. She had no military authority, no official position, just an iron will that would not be denied. She proved that the most important work often happens outside official channels, that caring for others doesn't require anyone's approval, that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is ignore the people telling you to stop. When asked under whose authority she worked, she had only that one answer: the Lord God Almighty. Nobody ever found anything that outranked that. What situation in your life have you been waiting for permission to fix when you already have everything you need to start? What an amazing story. Mary Ann Bickerdike. So there you go. All right. So are you hearing me all right? I'm seeing people talking about audio. I didn't see my mic go off or anything like that. So my sound is off. It's on right now. Can you hear me, guys? It says this mic is working. So you got no sound. You got no sound. Can you all hear me now? Did I cut out somewhere too important? Did I cut out a long time ago? This one says 5 minutes ago, somebody said, I closed the app on my phone, re-entered the room, and it fixed the audio issue. There you go. All right. Barbie D says, funny, Steph, sound is better for me now. It wasn't your mic. It was a YouTube issue. YouTube. They like to mess with you. So I hope you all got the full impact of that story. What a really good story about a real person in American history. Yeah, very odd, says Roger. Never had the two be this different before. Sometimes my TV is ahead of my phone by a second or two, but never like this. Steph says, I'm pretending he's singing, watching his mouth and his expressions. I can sing for you if you want. So I called a friend the other day, got their voicemail, and I just said, mares eat oats and does eat oats and little lambs eat ivy, a kid'll eat ivy too, wouldn't you? Whales eat eels and snails eat eels and little clams eat oysters, a squid'll eat oysters too, wouldn't you? And there's more words to that. I don't know what it was. Bing Crosby, I think, sang that in some old movie. So let's see. All talking about the audio. I'm going backwards here. Be right back. I'm listening, but need to put salt in the water softener. By the way, if I didn't mention this already, I know I have somewhere mentioned this along the way about my leg that they cut off. That's still, when Roger was talking about adding salt to something, it just gave me a flash of something I was thinking about. And that leg from about 8 inches below my knee and down is still sitting in a package in the freezer at the hospital in St. Paul, Minnesota, waiting for me to pick it up. And they called me a few weeks ago and said, are you still going to take this? I said, yeah, I am. But the law, the way it's written in Minnesota, you have to have a mortician pick it up and walk it out the building. They can just hand it to you right on the front sidewalk, but they have to walk it out of the building. And so, and I think I talked about this because I think I read something about it somewhere. It had to be this show. and it wasn't the captain's log, so might have been the captain's cabin. So it must have been recently I talked about it, because we just started doing the cabin about a week ago. But so I get that leg, and I was told by my neighbor, who's a taxidermist, my old neighbor, that so all you got to do is put boil water with baking soda in it. Yeah, you'll remember this because very recently I told this and talked about it. And he said that just strips the flesh off. And you got to put on some rubber gloves and a scraper. He does it with antlers and bones of deer and stuff like that, skulls. So he says, that'll do it. And then I'm going to make the dagger handles out of the 2 bones for my sons and inscribe them and stuff. So do some work on them. Anyway, that's what made me think of that when Roger talked about putting salt to something. That sounds weird, but that's stream of consciousness. So, and I'm sorry about the sound. That was not my microphone tonight. How about that? Let's see. Pam Zaspel says, I like it. Let's see. I missed because I'm going backwards. Oh, good night, Kinsey. And she said, good night, Barbara. Barbie D. Correct her. It's Barbie D, not Barbara. So now we're all the way back to when Pamela came in the room and Barbie D and Roger and everybody else. So let's go down to our newer comments. Salted and cured leg meat, says Roger. Tasty treat. Yeah, for somebody. For orcs, maybe. Yeah, that's just to get the flesh off. Be a gross process, but it's got to get out of your head what it is. Pamela says, your head thingy. This thing? Oh, this old thing? It's my do-rag tonight. And it's my Shema from Israel. And it's Israeli, not Palestinian. That's straight. So, Field guy, it says you're not connected. Well, there you are. Let's add you to the stage. Good evening, Hawk. Good to see you. Lord Emperor Fieldy, are you there?
I am here.
There he is. How you doing tonight?
Doing good. I just I forgot what time it was.
It is 9:33 p.m. Central Standard Time.
I was doing one of my glorious streams that nobody watches anymore. I was actually showing some baseball cards off, and someone told me, "Oh, it's 9:30," and I went, and I said, "Okay, folks, I'm missing someone's stream."
Oh boy!
So I apologize.
Steph, are you hearing us now? There's been a YouTube issue tonight because my mic is not failing tonight, but the sound is going up and down.
They were doing something with YouTube a few weeks ago, and I did a stream one night. It was around 7 o'clock, and I did it for 45 minutes, and someone was like, I can't hear you. 45. I left it up on YouTube. I said, what? Go back, and I went back and watched it, and sure enough, the whole 45 minutes, there's a picture of me, and there's no sound.
Sure enough, that figures.
And it was about a week or two ago. Because they were updating some kind of software or something. And they don't, YouTube don't tell you what happens.
You know, when I used to broadcast using Skype years ago, Skype always had a thing. If you were on there for more than an hour or something like that, Skype would always phase out for a few minutes in the middle of your show. So I'd be talking. And
that's weird.
That got old real quick. So
I never streamed off of Skype. I used it for other reasons, but I never streamed off of Skype. Not a live
I used
stream
to
anyway.
broadcast from Skype. So
they got rid of that last year.
I had a very stressful day today. Personal stressful day. And this is not the best way. I need no chastisement for this. I smoked a whole pack of cigarettes between like 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., which is rare for me. Hawk is in the studio as well. Let's bring him in. So I'm
Smoke 'em
feeling
if you
like
got 'em.
that. My mouth tastes smoky.
Well,
So,
I'm
Hawk, how you
nobody's
doing?
judge, so I can't judge anybody.
Hawk.
Yeah, give me a second.
Oh, there he is. Give him a second. So,
Second.
Claudette, good to see you.
2 seconds.
You're on the different time zone, so I have to remember you're on at 10 p.m. Your Eastern time. Yep, 10 p.m. Nice to have you here again. So
Everybody's got to coordinate to Central Standard Daylight Time.
I'm Central
So
Standard Time.
Everybody
So-
set your watch or alarm clock to 9:36 p.m.
There it
Go
is.
by that. That way you'll never miss Scotty.
There it is. You'll never miss. So, and it's cold in here. It's funny. My house has pockets of warmth and pockets of cold. And back here at my desk, I've got the back door to the house is right over there, about 8 feet away from me. But there's a heating vent right there, and it's blowing up and kind of blows the curtain around. So the heat's coming in the room, and the weather stripping looks great. But I'm sitting here at my desk tonight, and my hands are like frozen. And I almost went out and brought the portable heater from the front porch in here. And whatever. So
It's raining outside my house.
you're going to get rain
Started
for a few
raining.
days. It's
It
snowing.
rained
Well,
here
it
in a
was
couple of
snowing here earlier.
It rained here in about 3 weeks or something.
Let's see. Barbie D
Yeah, they're
says,
saying it might.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was
Nope,
just
go
saying they're saying it might snow again. It snowed last year here, and I'm like, it doesn't snow here 2 years in a row. It's not possible.
My daughters are in North Carolina, and they said the forecast says by the weekend they could be getting 15 to 18 inches of snow in North Carolina. It doesn't usually get that cold during the winter out there. You get a little dusting of
way up
snow
there,
every
though.
month, and it doesn't get cold. Not cold, unless you live there and you're not used to the cold.
I don't know.
She
I have
said
a
the
theory
problem is
about
they
that.
don't have the infrastructure to take care of that when it snows. So they're getting their generators.
That's how it is here.
Yeah.
That's how it is here.
I can't imagine New Orleans has infrastructure for snow removal. So,
I don't know what they have for us. Anything. I remember when I was in high school and it got to like 15 degrees and it started to snow outside. They panicked. They didn't know what to do. The students were jumping in their cars and trying to leave. They had to lock the school in. I jumped out. I ran out before they did it because I live right down the street. I went home. I was like, hey, it's snowing. I'm taking a snow day.
yep.
But
Official snow day.
Last year when it snowed, it was yesterday, 1 year ago yesterday, they closed the whole parish down because you couldn't get in and out.
Man.
And I have ditches in front of my house. They closed, everything was closed. Couldn't get in. People riding their bike. They closed everything down except the hospitals and the police department. They had to send everybody home. We got like 8 inches of snow, and I'm talking about I've never seen that before. It's like a freak accident. Because it snowed in Florida the other day.
The last snowstorm we had up here, they did cancel school for a day, but it snowed like 10 inches, and at first they called it 2 hours. 2 hours late because the municipality has all the roads cleared by then. But it was still going strong, so then they called later. The message goes out to all the parents. Yep, your kids are home today. So the only ones that really hate that are the ones that go to work. They go, okay, now I got to stay home from work. So,
hey, I got paid last year. They told me, don't come in, we're paying. And I went, okay.
but
it only snowed for like 6 hours, and then the next day it was all pretty much melted away. You know, it was all like a 1 in 50 year freak accident, they said, but it's the second time in 7 years it snowed. It's the same. I don't know if you saw on the news. It's the same thing. How Florida and Georgia got hit.
Yep.
That was supposed to hit us too, But they said for the conditions to be right, the moisture in the Gulf of America, the moisture in the Gulf of America has to be just right to hit the airstream. So they're saying this.
I
They're
suppose.
saying, huh?
I suppose.
Oh, I watched that, and they said Saturday and Sunday we're going to get that trough. They said if the moisture's just right at the right time when the weather's coming in, that's how we're going to get the snow, just like Florida did. The Gulf of America's got so much moisture in it because I'm right there. So I
thought Minnesota was the icebox of the country, but Barbie D's talking about being in upstate New York, getting pounded, and
Newark.
The last time I was in New York during the winter was
Jets.
many years ago, but it was like 15 below zero. We were at Cooperstown, New York, staying at the
Hall of Fame.
Yep, but we were staying. It was a ghost event with the ghost hunters, and but it was. What's the big hotel there that overlooks the lake? What's the big lake in Cooperstown? Can't think of it off the top.
The only thing I know about Cooperstown is the Baseball Hall of Fame is there. That's about it. It's a small village. That's all I've heard. But,
well, I know that. There's Diana. Nice to see you, Solitary Spectre Hunter. Good to see you. What is the name of the? It was James Fenimore Cooper in his. Was it Last of the Mohicans or? I thought it was with his character Natty Bumppo, which was played by Daniel Day-Lewis in Last of the Mohicans, and but he mentions the lake and the hotel there, something like the Gallo Glass or something. And he fictionalized the name of a hotel that couldn't have been in Last of the Mohicans. I don't think that would have existed by then. So, but he wrote about that. Anybody know? Anybody live in upstate New York? Barbie D, do you know what the hotel is and the big lake in Cooperstown? So
is it Lake Titicaca?
No.
I don't know. I just wanted to say that.
Get my ice fishing gear ready, says Roger. I missed the early season. Hopefully I can get the ice soon. Anyone else go ice fishing? Hell no.
Ice fishing.
It's cold.
Roger don't know where I live at, apparently. Ice fishing.
Roger doesn't know. Roger doesn't know. Hawk, are you there? Are you just waiting to talk, or?
I'm just being polite.
Oh, well, you could have, or something.
I'll shut up. You go ahead and,
What's on your mind tonight, Hawk?
Oh, nothing. I'm on hydrocodone, so nothing, not really.
Oh, I'm glad I badgered you for not saying anything. So speak up. What's on your mind? Nothing.
Nothing. I'm coming in here to support my buddy. That's all.
I got drugs on my mind, he says.
I have a lot of drugs on my mind at the moment. Actually, it's just one tablet, but it feels like I took an entire bottle.
Well, there it is, the Otsego Hotel. It says Lucky Stone. Thank you, Lucky Stone, and welcome. The Otsego. And
interesting.
Yeah, we were at that hotel ghost hunting. This would have been back in like 2009. So it was very interesting. Didn't have a big crowd there, but man, was it cold. So
how did y'all miss New Orleans? That's the
what?
What's that? What's that, Hawk?
I was just going to take this opportunity to tell everybody in the chat room hello. That's all.
Do it.
I did.
Oh,
just now.
Oh, okay.
Hello, everybody.
All right.
I don't know, Scott, is my audio sound okay?
Yeah, it sounds okay. How's mine?
Oh, that's not good. Yours is fine.
Good. So
sometimes StreamYards will have that glitch. It'll have the robot glitch, I call it.
Yeah.
Like you'll be talking, like, it'll do that.
How do you say it? Otesaga? I can't remember when I was there. Ooh,
So
that
it's
voice.
like
Yum. I think that's for you, Hawk.
What's that?
Pamela says, ooh, that voice. Yum.
I'm okay. Nice. Thank
It's
you.
not my voice. Ain't no woman talking about my voice, so it ain't me.
It was actually Hawk
I was on.
that taught me how to speak on radio on a microphone 20 years ago or more. He says, you're too breathy. You're taking too many breaths. He says, you got to, or loud breaths. I would go, and so here we are talking about and he said, don't do that. So he taught me a lot about presenting myself on radio way back.
It's not hard. It's easy to do, brother. I mean, everybody makes those mistakes in the beginning. You were no different than myself. As a matter of fact, I had an engineer at KOMA 1520 in Oklahoma City tell me that I was doing it wrong. But he did it live on the air. He just came in. You're doing it wrong.
The engineer live on air. Thank you.
Right. He's live on air. Exactly.
Nice.
To each their own.
Stay in your lane, engineer. So, no, but that's good stuff. Yeah. So, all right. Who that voice? Pamela, are you going to call in? Just a question.
Ladies, get in free.
Ladies get in free. There you go. It's ladies' night. Yes, ladies, it's ladies' night on the captain's cabin. Come on in.
You remember the last time you did that, Scotty?
Oh, my goodness. Is that when we started getting all the pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah. Steph, you
You're
remember
like,
that night, don't you? Or that morning. That was Kenny B's radio show. And
yeah.
Yeah, we told.
I think you were doing it on your channel, though. I think
we must have talked about that because I remember talking about that recently too, about the Speedos, and then I had to show a picture of my Speedo, and then
trying to get Jason to show his.
Yep, he wouldn't. But then,
no, thank you.
All the women. This was a morning show. And it's like, okay, ladies, we've shown our Speedos. It's time for you to show us your lingerie and or swimsuits. And all the women in the audience started sending in their photos to put up on the show of them in lingerie. And
I don't remember it being in the morning, though. I remember it being a nighttime show. But then again, I don't remember. I mean, it could have been in the morning.
No, Kenny B's show was always daytime. Morning, 8 a.m. 8 a.m.
Yeah, I don't do anything on Facebook, but
yeah.
No, I remember one night though. I remember one night it was on your show and it was a nighttime show. I do remember that one time, or it might have been a continuation of the other one.
Yeah.
Did I do that as a nighttime show?
I'm pretty sure we did one time as a nighttime show. We were talking about something, and one of these topics came in, and something happened, and I have it on my favorites list somewhere.
That being a nighttime show, unless I continued it that night on my own show and said, "Hey, this is what we did this morning on Kenny's show." Yes, it was on here one night for sure, says Roger.
I have it in my favorites list. Every time I pop on your channel, I put it in my favorites list. So I have it in my favorites list somewhere. I just couldn't tell you where. But you've done thousands of shows, so it's like picking out. It's like finding a needle in a haystack.
I've got like 3,000 episodes over on my YouTube channel. So let's see. I'm going to try something. I'm just going to see Speedo.
That's right. Carly did send a pic. Never sent me one though. I'm just kidding.
Oh my goodness, here it is. All right, ladies, put on your steel panties and still your hearts. Here I am in my Speedos. This picture was taken in 1982 down in Honduras on the Isle of Roatan. And this is my wife at the time, Suzanne. Pamela, you know her. This was Suzanne Shepard and me. Here we go. You ready? Or should I? Maybe I shouldn't. So, hey, Carly. There's
Hey, good
Carly.
chat.
How
Well, now
you
you
doing?
got to do it because Carly's here.
Oh, I lost it. There it is. Here we go. Boom.
You got to show Carly now.
There it is. So that was many, many years ago. That is 44 years ago. And that's the Caribbean you see behind us out on my grandfather's island on Roatan, or his place on Roatan. And that was Suzanne and me. I said, we got to do one of those obligatory shots. So me holding you. So Pamela knows her from our school days. So I don't know how close you guys were, but you know who she was. So there you go. Me and Speedos. All right. Let's see. Hawk, you got any pictures of yourself in a Speedo?
Let me think. No, I don't.
No.
No, I do not have any in a Speedo. I have very few photographs of me, so
That's
I'm always
true.
taking photographs of everybody else. So I don't
Right,
have that many of me,
right.
you know.
Roger,
there-
my Speedo is crotchless for some reason. Nice. Thank you for that, Carly.
Of course, you didn't know that.
So, Steph sent photos. Yeah, Steph sent photos in. Let's see. Scotty, I get up really early and I'm usually asleep by now, but I stay up for you. Yes. I'll stay up for you too. And I do get to retire in a couple of months, so maybe I'll call you then. I can delay the Ambien. Nice. All right. You can call when you're retired.
I don't know that word. What's that word? Retire.
Ambien?
I don't know it.
Oh, retire? You're too young to retire.
That ain't that. I ain't gonna be able to retire ever, probably unless I win the lottery. Listen, man.
Well, Pamela, I look forward to the day
Scotty,
you can
making
stay
me
up and
younger
talk
than I'm
on
supposed to.
radio. What's that, Fieldy? We're having an overlap, you and
I said
me.
you're making me younger than I'm supposed to be.
So you can see everything, and we can see you and not talk over you. Pamela, you have a good night's sleep, by the way.
Yeah.
Let that Ambien
I'd have to flip my
Ambien
camera backwards.
take your mind away. So,
I can turn my
what
camera
song
on.
I
Yeah,
heard?
let's scare all the
Song
women
I
away.
heard recently, and my 14-year-old daughter was in the room. Was playing on not the radio. We had something going on the internet, and it was Dreamweaver. Do you remember that song?
Yeah.
I listen to that song every day.
Dreamweaver, I believe
Gary Wright.
you can get me through the night.
Why would you listen to that every day?
What's that?
Hold on, Scotty. Can I take over for a second?
Sure.
Fieldy, why would you listen to Dreamweaver every day?
It's one of my favorite songs. I listen to 10 and 12 songs every day. I
Really?
listen to Pink Floyd a lot. I listen to Rush. I like Dreamweaver. I also like Love Is Alive, the other song he hit
Okay.
song. But it's just in my
Okay.
playlist.
I got you.
No big deal.
Nice. Well, it's
Just
amazing how that song brought back memories. That song used to play when I was 14, working at the Eagles Club as a dishwasher, illegally. My mom got me the job there. No, her boyfriend worked there, and there was a trustee there or something. He got me the job at 14, and that would have been 1973, 74, right in that range of time. Let's see. Oh, Pamela says, Suzanne and I weren't close at all. She was a grade younger, and we didn't mix back then. Dreamweaver was such a cool song. Yes, it was. Love is Alive.
Dreamweaver was
Fantastic.
74, I think. I think
You're what,
it was
who?
74. 74. Dreamweaver was like 73, 74.
Yeah. So I would have been right at that time. And it played in the kitchen where we were washing dishes. So that brings back
Charge, damn it.
instantly that period of time to my memory. to go back when I was 14, 15 years old and knowing what I know now would be dangerous. So,
Could be, yeah.
Angel Sparrowhawk is here. Good to see you, Angel. Great songs indeed. So what else is
Oldies
going on,
music.
folks? Give us something. Give us some material. Otherwise, I'll have to bore you with my own material.
Who dat? Go Saints. There we go.
Oh, there you go. Well, whatever. Okay, thanks
That's all
for
I
that.
got. Go Jets. I don't
I'm not really into sports or football or anything. I've got other things to do.
Yeah, I don't have
I know
time for
you're not
sports.
either.
I used to love football, and then the NFL got too political, and I was just like, fuck it. I got better things to do.
Yep.
Oh, fuck the NFL. I just root for my Saints. I don't worry about the football. My Saints. I gotta root for.
Right.
Damn thing don't want to charge.
Let's see. I got something.
So, Scott, you going to start bringing people on like we were talking about, or what do we do?
I am. Not
You
today.
I didn't say today.
I haven't lined
said you are
anybody up this week. I might line people up for next week.
Right on.
So,
So you actually have a guest come on the show and actually sit back and watch
yeah.
it. That'd be cool.
You should see my old guest list. It was just impressive. I used to do a lot of guests because I would do every night. I would do my first hour was usually political, and my second hour was always a guest. And I went 5 nights a week. So I had a ton of guests. Not as much
Back in the good old days.
Yeah, those were the good old days, all right.
So
let's see,
Before the sabotage hit in.
Who do you think will be your first guest? Do you have any idea?
I don't know.
About it?
I don't know yet.
No.
I haven't thought about who would be my first guest.
Go get Graham Hancock.
I could try. Yeah, I could write it. I'll write Santha because she'll get it before he will. And I'll say, ask your husband if he will come on, or to give me a shout, or find me a way to talk to him, whatever. So, yeah, he would be very interesting to get on. I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
Here's a dumb question. Who is that?
Okay.
Who is what?
Hey, Graham Hancock.
Who is Graham Hancock?
Really?
Yeah.
You're serious? He's an author.
Are you? Is he surreal?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. That's why I'm asking.
Look up Graham Hancock. Look at his book list. And
Well, I can't do it on my phone right now, but
he's kind of world mystery type of writer. Has been writing for years. He spoke at the Paradigm Symposium back in 2014, and he did a show with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's had him on several times. He did a show with Keanu Reeves, and just more recently. But his books, Fingerprints of the Gods, books like that. So
he's a
Okay. I
proponent
just never heard
of
of
there
myself.
being a ancient civilization that is unknown to modern man, and he travels
Right.
the world. He travels the world on a quest to find that information and then place it in front of people via his books or Joe Rogan or whatever will listen to him. He's a very interesting man, and he is quite possibly the only genius I've seen other than Neil deGrasse Tyson on any media. The guy is brilliant.
He is.
I know who Neil deGrasse Tyson is, but
Yeah.
I didn't know who the other person was. That's all.
How about Michio Kaku? Oh, get this. Some of my old listeners remember this. When I was doing the Paradigm Symposiums in the year, what year was it? It was for 2014. I wanted to get Neil deGrasse Tyson in to speak. The year before, I had 2 years before, I had Eric Von Daniken and George Norrie and Ian Punnett and Linda Moulton Howe and the cast of Ancient Aliens and all those authors. And it was the next year, I wanted to get Neil deGrasse Tyson. I had Scott Walter came on, America Unearthed dude, and he was there in 2013.
Yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. So I contacted his people, and they said, yes, Dr. Tyson would be happy to do your event. And I said, fantastic. And before I even got to budget, she said, well, here's what he needs to do your event. And he said he needs $75,000 plus first class air and executive suites at the hotel. And he'll speak for an hour and a half. Mind you, Eric Von Daniken cost me $5,000, not $75,000 plus business class airfare from Geneva and an executive suite. So he cost me like $19,000 total. And that was for him and his assistant. So Neil deGrasse Tyson, I went, oh, 75? I said, for an hour and a half? I said to his assistant, I said, geez, I said, he must be doing pretty well. I said, I only get half that amount. And she didn't laugh. And I said, no, seriously. I said, that's about half our entire budget this year. Oh, well, okay. Well, thank you. And she hangs up. She hung up on me. I thought it was pretty funny. So I only get half that.
That was probably his accountant too.
Yeah,
now we ain't got no time. I got somebody on the other line, sir. You can't afford it. Bye.
Yeah, no, I can't afford $75,000 for an hour and a half of speaking.
No.
Jeez.
If I'm paying $75,000, you better be here at least 2 or 3 days.
Right?
Like the weekend.
Yeah.
Sign autographs or something. I mean,
yeah.
That just for an hour and a half. Good Lord. I've heard him talk. I'm just like, he'd put me to sleep. I mean, I do watch his shows on.
Too bad. He's a little more dynamic than some. We also checked into Michio Kaku, tried to get him in. The next year, we got Graham Hancock in for 2014, and Graham was actually relatively affordable. And that was kind of cool. I think Graham Hancock and Hawk, for as well as you know him, compared to Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think Graham Hancock charged me like $2,000 plus airfare and hotel.
That's because Graham's actually on a mission to educate.
He's a humble man.
Right.
So
he's on a mission to educate people. He wants people to know what he's discovered. Yep.
And we had Randall Carlson that year with us as well. And if you guys don't know Randall Carlson, big Grizzly Adams looking guy with a big white beard and long hair, and did some documentaries with Graham Hancock. So
he is really smart.
He is.
He's a smart man.
You're talking about Graham, or are you talking about
both of them, technically, both of them.
Right.
Very
Carlson, Randall Carlson.
Intuitive, astute people.
Mm-hmm.
They come from academia, so that's
right.
That has a lot of weight with it, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. Let's see. I'm looking for a little something just to entertain you. I read this to you guys a couple of years ago, and on Intrepid Radio. And I'm going to see if I can actually call it up here. Would be a text file that I'm looking for. Where is it? We know you are in here hiding. Wo bist du? Wo bist du, Wolfgang? Let's see. There's one of my favorite lines from The Dirty Dozen. Remember that old movie? The Dirty Dozen?
Yep.
The woman walks into the room, and they're in the castle, and they're hiding. And she goes, this woman walks into the room, sexy woman, And the guys are hiding behind the curtains. And she goes, Wolfgang, wo bist du, Wolfgang? Where are you, Wolfgang? So, where are you? Wo bist du? So, I think this one might work if I open it up. No. And so, yeah, that was fun. It's a PDF. I don't want the PDF. I want the text file. Damn it. I'm looking for it. That's okay. But this is for fun, and this is the reason I would. Let's see if this will open up for me. No, wrong program. I got to open up Acrobat to see it. And I used to be able to just call it up. It used to be just in my documents file, I thought. And it taint. So you know how that goes, Hawk. You start looking for something on your computer. I know I filed it here, and it's not there. So where am I going to find it now? And you dig, and then you're running over it about 10 times in the last week.
Right. That's how it works.
Ain't that the truth? And then you go look for it, and you can't find it. There's a little platinum
today with some of my photographs. I was trying to find some, and I knew where they were. Sure,
I still got to get you that photo.
No.
Okay, here we go. This might work. Let's see. Let's open it up. Open her up. All right. Here we go. All right, folks. This is the book I wrote. It's a kid's book. Some of you will remember this. Some of you won't. I'm only doing this for entertainment value tonight. So, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. Again, it's a kid's book that's not a kid's book. It's called How to Be an Archaeologist. And I fully illustrated this book. And I can now say that I wrote this a couple of years ago, and I had dedicated it to my wife, my kids, all 6 of them, and David Potter, because he had passed on. And now I may have to rewrite that dedication and put in John Ward, because this story is based on his story as a kid that got him into archaeology. And then it veers way off. He read it and he goes, "That's my story." And I said, "Yes, it is." And at least the beginning. Okay, you ready? Get some popcorn, kiddos. Gather around your radio, family, and listen to another stirring story at Family Story Hour. You know, radio time, 1930s. Anyway, so here's how it starts, and it's all fully illustrated. But it goes like this. You had no idea you were just out to play, waiting in the shallows of the river that day, when your bare toes dislodged it, broke it loose from the clay, a pipe carved in meerschaum, 100 years in the cray. Someone had lost it or tossed it away off the bridge in your town that spanned River Cray. The pipe sank to the bottom, and for the next 100 or so years lay quietly waiting for you to appear. The pipe stem was broken, the bowl caked with muck, the hand-carved face was intact. What luck! A man with a bicorn hung low over his brow, looked you straight in the eyes and implored you somehow to take the first step on a path that would lead to the rest of your life and your life's work's creed. Now, that's where the story of John Ward ends. That's how he got into archaeology when he was a kid, got his interest stirred. Then it goes on to, of course I called up the version that has the pages mixed up. Hold on. Hold that thought. Hold the phone. And we'll get the other version up here. so we can. Here's the final. That's the cover. Spreads.
It's a brief intermission, folks. Grab more popcorn.
Yes. All right. Let's see if this one works. All right. There, I read the first page and the second page. Now on to the third page. And that goes like this. He's found the pipe now. So, with your riverbed fine tucked deep in your pocket, he was up to the town. You sped like a rocket, where there on the corner of High Street and Crockett was a curious old shop where the keeper's old docket could surely tell all of the pipe in your pocket. Sure enough, it was old and much older than old. It was ancient, antique, and bore history untold. The face on the bowl was of Admiral Lord Nelson, whose defeat of the fleet of Napoleon had won him great honor and glory, and a statue on a column, and even his face on a pipe carved in meerschaum. So much to be learned, so much history discovered, from an old ancient pipe that you found underwater. And what of the artist who took time to create it? What were his reasons? Why did he not date it? For whom was it made? Why was it important? Could these questions be answered, or would they ever remain dormant? Carefully, delicately, you clean off the tarnish, add a new stem and a light coat of varnish. Up on your bookshelf, you set up a display where it will stand and remain until that one day when the right time arrives to light it and smoke it. Only you will know when, and you will not postpone it. Soon middle school came, then high school too. Homecoming was fun and football was cool. Phi Beta Kappa and the activities of college took a distinctive back seat to exploration and knowledge. You wanted to know things. You craved all the answers. You needed your bachelor's degree to advance your academic education, scholarly compliances in history, anthropology, geography, and the sciences. Even math and lit were stepping stone reliances that would ready you, steady you, and give you the tools to pursue your life's goal. You must follow the rules. Your home away from home was the library on campus. It was there that you researched and studied your ass off. There were good times with your mates. You drank plenty of beer. You had to do something that helped you to steer people away from thinking you overly freaky, for your studious focus had made you seem rather geeky, not to mention your scholarly pallor, so creepy. But you were, after all, following the steps of Lou Leakey, whose condensed milk and cognac was anything but cheeky. So here's to the beers, and here's to the cheers, and here's to the books for the next 3 to 4 years. Archaeology isn't just digging in dirt. It's not always about treasure, adventure, or curse. It's the study of people and their material remains. It even goes back to prehistory days. Sometimes it's in writing or carving or inscription on temples and shrines and graves of distinction. But sometimes you find it only in pieces of pottery, papyrus, clay fragments, or feces. Everything tells the story of our past, and you need to be ready with the knowledge you've massed, knowing stuff in your head is only the start. There's the other stuff too, and it speaks to your heart. Now that you've hung your BA on the wall, it's time to get serious. Set your mind to the long haul of earning your master's, writing papers and theses, of travel and internships working as an assistant. Anthropology, it's said, is the study of people, how they hunted and farmed, built monuments unspeakable. You study ancient languages and decipher religions, examine statues and pottery and tribal divisions. From the Maya to the Aztec, the Anasazi and Hun, the Indus Valley Migration and Ancient Egypt 101, you absorb all the books, take your tests and read papers, siphoning all that you can from these academic capers. Soon the curricular mist of scholarship parts. You know what you want, you know where it starts. You hear the call of the ages through the dynastic haze. The riddle of the Sphinx reaches through the malaise. The voices have spoken, the gods have regaled you. Despite the minutia academia gave you, to the gods, demigods, and spirits of the dead, to the land of the pharaohs you know you must head. A handful of years have now passed through your journal. Abu Simbel and Khufu only lent you a kernel of the grandeur that lies neath the sands neath your feet. The final step is begun for your beginning to complete. Identified and applied and now signed with the ministry, you've been granted permission to uncover history. A shovel in one hand and a trowel in the other, your third hand extended to a benefactor and sponsor. At long last you stand in Ra's blazing simmer, sinking your spade into your own quest for treasure. You won't find it in books. They don't teach it in school. The universities won't break with their cardinal rule that says it's all science, just history, nothing more. They give you lectures and letters, then matriculate you to the door. But it's there in that moment, after years of hard work, of reading, writing papers, and digging in the dirt, that you find yourself breathing the air of the ancients. You've moved rocks, sifted silt, and now here you face it. Eternal life, it was written, resides in the name. Remembrance and utterance is the name of that game. So you drop to your knees, assuaging your fears, and for the very first time in thousands of years, you gaze into eyes that shed only stone tears. Your fingers brush lightly on glyphs carved so bold, and there on the lintel, where in antiquity was told the story of this man now 3,000 years old, in the recounting of his life and his deeds of great fame, lay the resurrection to be found only in his name. His face to your face, your words to his ears. You spoke out his name not uttered in years, and the statue before you breaks free of its bonds, reconnecting with life in the light of the gods. That's, by the way, something John Ward did. They spoke the name of these statues they uncovered that hadn't been seen for over 2,500 years. They held a little ritual. So, when the din of discovery has settled and flown, you return to your cottage on the river back home. There's so much more work, so much more to uncover. You know you'll be restless till you return in November. For the next 6 months, it's all about writing. You must catalog your season and publish your findings. On your way to the study, you get a glimpse in the mirror, the ruddy young lad you no longer see there. The man reflected is a sun-leathered tan, whose temples are flecked with the colors of sand. It is time, you say to the glass with a smile. Lord Nelson's been waiting for a very long while. And das ist the end of the book. You still have to buy it because you got to see the illustrations. So there you go. Hey, Morgan Snow. Yeah, Angel, me too. If I could go back years, I would pursue archaeology in university level. So I almost did it about 10 years ago. Excuse me.
I wouldn't mind doing that if I do metal detecting sometimes. That's sort of like
cool.
it.
That's cool stuff.
I got a metal detector. I found a penny in my front yard. Nothing big, but hey, I dug 6 inches for it.
Right on.
Got it out the grounds, 1974. So, you know.
Hawk Buckman jumped out of the studio. He's running back and forth. Okay.
When you started, he jumped out.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, but I didn't. That's why he posted in the chat. I
Says,
wasn't
if
going
I
to
could
interrupt.
have only one guest, who would it be and why? If I could have only one guest, who would it be? Somebody living? Let me think about that for a second. Pamela Zaspel said, my first husband was in Rockin' Hollywoods. Oh, that was a half hour ago. Met some fantastic musicians and I had too much fun. I'll bet. Let's see. If I could choose somebody to interview today, who would it be? I would definitely want to interview William Shatner. Almost had an interview with him not long ago. That fell through for various reasons. Not anything. It was logistical problems. He'd be somebody I'd interview. Who else would I interview? Somebody.
All right,
You know, it's like somebody says. What's that?
I was like, let's start a GoFundMe to get his fee going.
Whose fee?
Everybody donate $10. That way we can get his fee.
Whose fee?
William Shatner. Doesn't he have I'm sure he has a fee.
No. This was being lined up through people who knew him.
No, I'm talking about now.
Oh, now?
I'm like, if you want to interview him now.
I don't know if he charged me or not. His publicist was going to line up just a date I could fly down there and meet him. So, let's see. Who else might I want to interview today? Political. I'd interview President Trump if I had the opportunity. I think that'd be a blast. You know, the only people we come up are like entertainers, politicians, you know, stuff like that. If I could interview anybody in history that's dead now, perhaps, who would I interview? You know, I hate to be cliche. It'd be really cool to interview Abraham Lincoln. Could you imagine getting him on the radio?
I was thinking the same person.
Yeah. He'd be an interesting.
That Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah. Jefferson, though, was my hero of the American Revolution. Despite the whole owning slave things, it doesn't negate anything else he did.
It was a different time then.
Different times.
You can't balance now between. They do that with sports and they do that with other things. Certain eras. You can't compare different eras because it's different times. It's not the same standard.
Yeah, you can't do anything about that.
You can't compare the Charleston dance to the whatever dance is out now because it's two different eras, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, there's that. So Angel, I hope that answers your question. Lincoln would be awesome, and Jefferson would be awesome. Washington would be awesome. That'd be kind of cool. Have all three of them on a panel. All right, folks, we've got lined up tonight Abraham Lincoln, and to his left is George Washington, and to his right is Thomas Jefferson. Welcome, gentlemen. So that'd be an interesting interview.
You get Benjamin Franklin as the referee.
What does Barbie D say? Good for you, Scotty. What I do. So, all right,
I guess
folks.
your choices.
It is 10:24, and I'm going to call it a night. Until we get more structure to this will just be it. We'll do the captain's log, and then we will come in here to the captain's cabin and enjoy ourselves talking for a little bit. You've all got to work up to calling into the show. So you don't always have to watch. You can participate and be part of it. So
yeah, do what I'm doing. You don't have to show your face. Do exactly what I'm doing.
Yep. Yeah, you
just
don't
talk.
see his face. Oh, excuse me. You don't see Hawk's face. Ben Franklin? Yeah, Ben Franklin would be kind of cool. I'm not as into Ben Franklin, but as far as, you know, I would interview Thomas Jefferson before I'd interview Ben Franklin. So if I had a choice.
Yeah, me too.
Sorry, Ben. Taking Jeff. Or Tommy. By the way, speaking of Abraham Lincoln, which we did earlier, if you want to see a movie that makes you, oh yes, absolutely, Barbie D. I would invite Trump in a heartbeat if he'd come on.
Just tell me Theo Vaughn. It'll work.
So, a movie I saw that you may have seen or not seen was Steven Spielberg's Lincoln with Daniel Day-Lewis playing Abraham Lincoln. That was about, you left that movie thinking, I've seen Lincoln in the life. That was so well performed and so well done. And I really enjoyed that movie. If you want to get a taste for what he was really like, and the cinematography in that was so well done. The lighting was well done. You felt like you were in, buildings lit by a lantern light and at night and darker inside during the day with the sunlight coming in the windows, stuff like that. Yeah, Angel said it. You're right, Angel. Fantastic movie. I need to watch it again sometime soon. But there was a good movie. Speaking of Abraham Lincoln, and Daniel Day-Lewis makes you think you really experienced Lincoln. So well worth watching. And he got the voice down too. They said that from all accounts of his day, it used to be, back in the 50s and 60s and all of that, like when Disney first put up their Hall of Presidents, they had, this booming voice for Lincoln 77 years ago. And they said, no. They did a lot of research and they find out by the accounts of the day, he had kind of a high-pitched voice and a little crackly. And they used an actor named Dolan Royal. I think Dolan was his first name. You've seen him in the old movies. He actually looks like Abraham Lincoln, kind of. But, and he had this voice that was kind of like this. And they said he probably never lost that Illinois, Kentucky accent. And that he was always like that. And he was kind of like, I'm Abraham Lincoln, the president of the United States of America, 77 years ago. And that he had a voice kind of like that. And Daniel Day-Lewis played that up pretty well. He had the voice down. He had all of that. So it was very well done. So I think people like us are born in the wrong century, says Angel. And I think you're right, Angel. Although I like my modern conveniences, there are times I say, horseback and horse and buggy ain't so bad, is it? So, all right. Well, folks, we're going to call it quits. Fieldy, I'm going to let you go now. Thanks for sitting in. And
thank you for having me. And, see you, chat. Seacrest out.
Yeah, there it is. See you later. All right. So for our out tonight, what should we do? I've got several old video clips here. Let's do, what do I got in here? Oh, let's just do the exit from the old captain's cabin. Maybe I'll redo this one of these days. So folks, thanks for being here. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. And like 2 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow, live from Australia. So here we go. We'll see you next time. Thanks for being here. I appreciate having you.